This is a 2010 Dodge Avenger with the 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine, and this is going to be a video on replacing the alternator. Now you can see right here the belt shredded. This vehicle came in and the belt is actually shredded and thrown off here. If you look right down here, let's see if I can get you down there. Right here, this is our alternator pulley. This is our alternator right here. You can see that's not supposed to do that. That's our problem right there. So with the power steering pump in the way, I find it's easiest to take the alternator off from the bottom. To do this, you'll have to jack it up, but for the purposes of making a video, I'm going to lift it on the hoist and show you guys how it's done. So this alternator mounts with two bolts, two mounting points. One of them is right here on top. This one's easy to get at from up here. And then the other bolt is down on the bottom side, and there is a idler pulley that has to be removed to access it. And we're going to do that through the passenger wheel well opening. The first step you want to take before you pull this alternator off is you want to disconnect the battery from the vehicle. This particular car is difficult to do that because the battery is buried down under here, kind of in the front bumper under the headlight. But this is where the battery makes its connection to ground right here. You can do this with a test light, but I can't find my test light right now. So, just to show you guys, there's our 12.8 volts. That's our battery voltage right there. So, with this unhooked and isolated so that it doesn't touch the body, now we're down at 0.6 volts, which is this residual current. So now we know we're good. So we need to remove this splash shield to get at the pulleys. So there's a 10mm bolt right there, and then there's some push pins on this side over here. You don't have to totally remove this, there's enough room, but for purposes of filming, I'm going to pull this right off so that you guys can get a view at what's going on inside there. Okay, so this is the pulley that's got to be removed. You can see, I don't know, maybe you can see, right here is the bottom bolt for the alternator. This one is a 16mm. Okay, with that pulley out of the way, we have access to our lower alternator bolt. I'm going to pull that bolt out. That's a 16mm. Okay, looking up under the car, we're now going to remove this we're now going to remove this AC pump. There's 3 bolts. They're all 13 millimeter heads. There's 1 bolt there. There's 1 over here on the end. You can see that right there. And then there's 1 right up top. And then we're gonna let this hang on its lines. We'll disconnect the electrical connector, and that'll give us some room to access the 2 electrical connections on the back of the alternator, and then remove the alternator out the bottom. Okay, now we have room to kind of move this out of the way. We can get our hand up in here. And right here, if you pinch those together, pull that off. We're going to remove, I don't know if you guys can see that, we're going to remove that nut, and then we're going to unplug this connector. We're going to wiggle this alternator, and it should, hopefully, theoretically, fall right out the bottom here. So this clip is fighting me. I got the safety to release, but even pushing it down, it's still catching. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a little pick tool and go in from the back side and catch it, pry up on it. Usually, yep, it'll come right out. That is our problem right there. Our quality Napa remanufactured alternator here. It's always a good idea to compare and make sure they're the same before you go through all the work of trying to stuff it up in there. Looks good. Let's put it together. So 12.84, 12.85, so 12.8 is our resting voltage. We're at 14.5 volts, so this is confirmed, this is a fix.